Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more.
Caesar, the last straw before Caesar's assassination was that Mark Antony came with a crown in front of all the people one day and handed it to him, and Caesar pushed the crown away.
You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? I speak not to disprove what the
schools all the time. Teachers move to administration, and they, within a couple months, have forgotten what teachers go through.
I mean, you can just go to churches, because power is contained within the churches, and if you get to know the power, you'll see that they have the same struggles as politicians, the government does.
Well, the Catholic Church, now learning about Roman history, they basically just imitated the Roman Empire. Even like the pontiff, that name comes from the pagan chief priest.
Unlike his predecessor, Pope John is a man of the people.
And these are the reasons why people want socialism, which is known to be even more corrupt.
Right.
Socialism is nice, but it just doesn't work. So where's the balance?
There's no such thing as pure anarchy.
If you have a mob
You have a
or a
family.
mafia, yeah, you have a family.
You have a family. The family's going to, patriarch or a matriarch, whatever it is. Even if they co-rule, they're in charge of the children. Someone's in charge of a family. Someone's in charge of a group of friends. There is a leader among them. People may not even recognize it, but there is always a leader.
Well, the system that represents us is corrupt, so we just need to. This is what Lenin wanted. Lenin said we want a system where everyone's equal, pure democracy, but first we need a military dictator to get rid of all the enemies of it. And that's like built into communism's DNA. It's like the ideals, the end goal looks like a very egalitarian system, but they just say we just need to reside in the Orthonc for a while. Just give us Orthonc, and then we'll fix everything, and then we'll step down.
Interesting.
Against the power of Mordor, there can be no victory. We must join with him, Gandalf.
How do you think we got like this far in our culture as Americans? Because considering all this, I think it's a miracle, just the society that we're living in today, right?
Yeah.
And maybe we'll start with Dane, because you just were talking.
The people that helped America happen were greedy people. They were people that were seeking power for themselves. It's not necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of good things that happened from bad people. So there's a lot of corruption that led to a lot of good. And without that, good wouldn't have happened. So whatever, it happens. Rain causes growth, but it also causes floods.
For politically, the main thing for most of human history is what do we do when our current government dies? And it's just chaos. Like everywhere, Chinese history, Roman history, anywhere history. It's like a ruler dies, or at least a dynasty dies. So sometimes there's some stability when a few generations in a row maintain power. But once a dynasty dies, it's called the succession problem. What do we do? And all of Rome was plagued by it because it actually was never a family monarchy in Rome. It was like you would adopt someone to try and indicate who's going to be the next emperor. When you're emperor, you might adopt someone, but there wasn't actually a set thing of like, oh, the oldest son inherits or something. And in America, when George Washington took 2 terms and stepped down, that is a historical miracle. Another one where the secession problem came up again was during the Civil War, where Abraham Lincoln is in the middle of like the biggest conflict of U.S. history, and they held an election in 1964 or 1864. Any other time in history, that kind of turmoil, there's always been a thing of like, we need like emergency dictator powers, like extreme times call for extreme measures. Like the United States might not exist anymore. This isn't time for an election. But we still did that. And again, that's like a historical anomaly, miracle out of nowhere. We do have things that are like historical anomalies that are something to like kind of reflect on in like a kind of, I guess, patriotic way. Like not, I wouldn't say nationalistic way, but a way that's like, oh wow, this is something different. But then also not to let that turn into exceptionalism, though, which almost, how do you say that these are exceptional situations without becoming American exceptionalists? I'll end with something Chesterton said. Something can't be fixed until it's loved. And so a progressive who doesn't love the nation and wants to change things isn't really there to fix it. But anyone who actually loves their nation will fix it. So a nationalist patriot who says everything's fine also won't fix it. Like something can't change until it's loved. Rome wasn't beautified. Rome wasn't loved because it was beautified. It was beautified because it was loved. It was a spot on a river. People loved that spot. It became Rome.
Ambition should be made of sterner stuff.
Maybe.
Yet Brutus says he was ambitious.
Wow.
Brutus is an honorable man.
Thank you for joining us. Tune in next week. We're going to be sending out philosophy from the think tank every week. We hope you appreciate it. This has been a great evening. Thank you for joining us.